man. Be a man. That's what you here to be. That's what you was born as. Be that. Be that guy. Yo.
Okay. My biggest pet peeve is people who don't utilize common sense for things that are obvious and being like willfully obtuse, as I say. Like you be knowing something is one way and you just insist on doing things either the hard way and making things more difficult, not using your common sense. Like that is my biggest pet peeve, when you don't use common sense in situations where it's like, why are you going through all this? It's just like the dude on TikTok who always has his hands out with the shrug. Like, what are you doing? Like, why are you making this 10 times harder than it needs to be? And then he's like, you could have just as easily done it this way, and puts his hands out like, you see, I fully agree with that, because my biggest pet peeve is people who don't use common sense. And I know that common sense isn't common, hence it's my biggest pet peeve. Like, you don't have to make things difficult. Why look for ways to make things difficult? And a lot of things could just be easy and simple. You see my man over here forgot to put the phone on silent and whatnot. So, there's just a little bit of everything where, pet peeves can go in for everything. I hate walking outside of my building and there are 10 people smoking, and, that was like a big pet peeve. You have to breathe in a whole bunch of tobacco because, people don't know how to act. So that's another one. Then we have our next question, which is, if you were given $1 million that you had to and were required to spend in 1 week, how would you spend it? A whole $1 million tax-free. I'm spending it on travel and a nice big family house so my family could live close to me, going back to the first question. We have a whole estate and, someplace where we can all be centralized and close to each other. I could easily, I think, spend $1 million in 1 week.
Yeah. How I would spend? Man, well, I would spend it. I would definitely hit my close friends off, hit the family off. And for a year, I wouldn't be bothered. Like, I'm out. Like, I'm not making no investments the first year. I'm not doing anything. If I got, what is it, $1 million? It says, how would I spend that $1 million?
In a week.
In a week? Oh, in a week?
You got to spend the whole thing in a week.
Spend it?
Yeah.
Oh,
you can buy your tickets. You can buy all your tickets to travel for the next year. You could do that.
All right. Now, me spend.
Which is what I was saying, too.
I'm going to do my car fetish. I'm going to buy some dope ride. I'm going to buy, I'm going to upgrade the house. I ain't going to even buy probably with $1 million ain't a lot. It's really not a lot. I'm not going to buy a whole house. I'll upgrade. Give me some upgrades on the house. Help a few people out. Start a business or infuse some cash in a business that I already have and keep it moving. Hopefully I can make something to still have that. I'll do something to still have another $1 million next year.
Precisely.
So it would be fun. It would definitely be fun spending that. Just going out spending it, yeah.
And then I'm like, you could turn it up a notch if you don't spend the whole $1 million in 1 week. In 7 days, you have to return everything. Like, you can't keep nothing unless you spend it.
Tags on everything.
Yeah, you gotta have. If you don't spend that whole $1 you get Nathan. But I think it could be done because, like you said, $1 million isn't a lot of money like it was at one time, especially after you get family members right and stuff like that. But I'm definitely traveling. I'm definitely headed out and about. Definitely. So I think that's an easy one. Now, I don't know about this one. What book do you believe that you would benefit most from reading?
Me or you?
Well, the question is posed like me asking you. Yeah.
No.
And then, yes, it is. It's posed like if I was asking you and you asking me.
A book that I think you would. That's what I'm saying. That you would
like I'm
from.
posing it for you to ask me.
I think Who Moved My Cheese, which I gave to you and you didn't read, because it gives you some organizational skills.
Now, not only that, first of all, that book
just left it right there. It's a small book. I got it for her. We went to the library. Just left it
my
there.
mother had bought that book for our kids years ago, so I read it a long time ago.
Well, you didn't take heed to it.
Okay. Damn.
You didn't take heed to it.
Wow, jeez. Why gotta be whatever song?
You just left that book there for a week.
He took it out the library for me. Like, yo, you gonna read this book? God damn it! It was like, you gonna read this?
So me mad messy. She having mad unorganized stuff going on.
It's not that. Now wait a minute. There's a method to my madness. I be knowing where everything is, and I do keep the house clean. So you could say that sometimes I'm a little unorganized at times.
Just be spreading. Like, it's like a bunch like the COVID. Just be spreading in there.
I will concede that I can be a little unorganized at times, but there still be a method to my madness. I'm just saying. So the book that he might be able to benefit most from, in my opinion.
Here we go. Here we go. What is it?
The 5 love languages. And that's all we're going to say about that. You know. Because it's like he said, he's very manly. And that's one of the things that I love about him. I love a masculine man. I'm with him that I don't like soft dudes and all that. However, sometimes, you know, I'm not saying you have to be a soft man, but sometimes, you know, you could be a little bit, you know.
What? Give you more hugs and kisses?
Yeah.
I give you hugs.
You do. You better than before. You are. You definitely are.
I give you a few. That's
just not his thing.
You know. So, you want to lay up on the couch?
No, I'm not like that. You know that. You know I'm not overly emotional and like overly touchy-feely. Like, you know I'm not. Hell, my cousins would say I'm not touchy-feely enough. Hell, my kids might even be like, you weren't enough affection with us. I don't know. I showed affection when they were little, but I'm also not one of those PDA people. But sometimes, you know, holding niggas' hand, you know.
Oh, you want to what? You can hold my hand, grab my hand. Like, she's not an initiator. Like, if I don't initiate something, it doesn't happen. Like, sometimes, that's the problem. See relationship. Right. Yep. Like, it's like if you want, that's your thing, initiate it. Ain't gonna be like, hey, get off me, give me my hand back. Like,
no, because there have been times you'd be like, why are you all up on me? I'd be like, dang,
whatever.
So
You outside, you can grab my hand. Come on, like, you need a hug, get a hug. Take a hug.
I do take my hugs. I do.
Yo, so then you evidently you're not doing it enough for yourself. That was the last one. That was our last card. That was the last card.
I need to read Who Moved My Cheese. And you need to read
You're not going to read it.
I'm going to read it again. I am.
Why don't you cut it out? I'm going to get it from the library again and sit it on the table.
That's the last one right there.
All right. This is the last card, people, because I got something to do.
You see?
How would you like your life to be different in 3 years? In 3 years? Shoot. Honestly, in 3 years, I would like to just be... I ain't gonna never retire, but I want to be in a position to be retired. I wouldn't sit still. I don't want to sit in the house. I don't want to, you know. I would just hopefully I'd be able to do whatever the hell I want to do, and you know, stuff like that. Like, not retire, but you are retired.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying.
I agree with you on that. I just want to say, straight up, 3 years from now, I better have some goddamn grandkids. That's how I want my life to be better and different in 3 years. Where I have my little maybe two grandbabies running around and coming to visit and being like Nana and Pop and all that. That's my number one, how I would like my life to be different in 3 years. And then, like you said, I hope that we are really in a place of traveling on a regular basis, like where we're always going somewhere. Like when my parents first retired, like they were always going somewhere. It was always like, oh, they here, they there, they this and that. I want to be like where, you know, my boys could be like, doable. My parents are somewhere in the Maldives chilling.
It's doable. Like she like all that craziness. Like she want to be in all those different places. Me, I'm a good old American. Like I can travel within the states and be happy. Like I don't have
we're going to the Maldives.
Only thing. Oh, it's only one.
And we're going to Africa.
That's it. That's what I was going to say. It's only one foreign thing I want to do. That's go to Africa, go on a real live safari, and stuff like that right there. But like all of the rest of the stuff, like I have no aspirations to be in Dubai and. It's like it's not even on my list. Like I don't even care for all that stuff.
Going to Dubai and all that
because everything's right here. Like everything they got there is right here. We got real skiing. People go to Dubai and do this artificial skiing and all this artificial. Yeah, in the Poconos. We live in PA. Like we can go skiing whenever we feel like it. Like, like, we got all these mountains. We in the saddle. We in the valley. We got all these mountains, beautiful mountains to go hiking. Like, for what? To be like, oh, I did it in here. I did it there. I did it over here. Like, come on. Like, people, get a grip. Save your money. If you want to spend it like that, let me recant this thing. If you want to spend it like that, spend it like that. Me, it's not even about the money. It's just the experience. Like, if it ain't a real good experience, I could really do without it. I like the experience more than just being somewhere and to say I've been somewhere or to say I did something. Because if it wasn't an experience, it wasn't even worth it to me.
I could see that. Having new experiences is definitely an important thing for sure. I definitely agree with that for sure.
So we're going to go into a little wacky news before we wrap this up. And I got some wacky news right now.
Okay, because we're about to go on a rant.
Because I got some wacky news. Why wasn't Vince Carter...
That was my number one rant.
One of the top 75 basketball players of all time. It
is an outrage.
I don't like that. They had a half man, half amazing, arm in the rim. And Vince Carter probably just retired like 3 or 4 years ago.
If that...
And still put up numbers. And he's one of the all-time three-point shooters or whatever. I ain't even really pay no attention if Vince was hitting threes like that.
He impacted the entire NBA with his antics. That was a slap in the face. A slap.
I ain't like that. But that's my rant for...
Well, my second rant is for All-Star Weekend. This year's slam dunk contest was an insult, and it would put anyone to sleep. You young bucks out here.
I fell asleep.
And he did, straight up. And I was tight at the end of the slam dunk contest. They did absolutely too much. They were doing too much with the skills challenges. They were just doing way too much. It was mad boring. And they just ruined the slam dunk contest. They just ruined it. You got a big man winning the 3-point contest. It's like, it's not a bad thing. Because I actually like that dude. I can't think of his name. Big dude who won the 3-point contest.
Anthony Towns. Was he Anthony Towns?
Yeah.
Anthony Towns?
Yes. And I like his whole persona and all that. But this year's NBA All-Star Weekend was a pure bust. And I'm just saying, where was Kevin Durant? Because everybody was acting like he was in jail. The way they was acting was like he's in jail, like nobody's saying nothing like, oh, and this and that. So it's like he locked up for the weekend.
What are you in jail for?
I don't know. But that's how they was acting, all like nobody could talk about his whereabouts. I'm just saying. So yes, All-Star Weekend was trash this weekend, even though the game was all right. And my boy Steph Curry is out here breaking records.
That was unreal.
Light-skinned dudes for the win on this one. I'm just saying. But also, the other wacky news recently going on was, we had a couple of things.
Name it. I don't know. What was the wacky news? Name it. I don't know what it was. What's going on in the news? Besides your boy Joe Biden buying crack pipes, about to spend $30 million on, I don't know what the hell this is about. I don't know what. It wasn't the
crack pipes. It's just that he's going about addiction in a way more humane way, because Caucasians are the ones suffering the most from addiction and hard drugs at this time. It's not that he's giving out like, here, take this, take this stem, kid.
Like, he's bringing crack back. They know crack had the economy pumping.
I got this.
So they trying to bring it back.
Stupid.
They trying to bring it back on the low. Like, hey, we're not going to tell you to smoke crack, but we're going to give you a utensil.
Nice stem.
We're going to give you a utensil to smoke crack with. You can't use this utensil without no crack.
And that, I'm just saying, so they were going about it in a much more humane way to treat addiction. And that's why, because